Good afternoon. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 2, the synthesis of literature review. So I want to share with you, right from the beginning, I can tell you have read and are following the examples from the course. So kudos to you. Excuse me. Congratulations. Excellent. I can tell just by the way you've laid it out and organized things. I'm going to caution you about the style. And let me share with you this. This is APA style. So you see you have a title page, and then this subtitle is bold, and these are a little bit more bold, but it's centered. It's double spaced. It doesn't matter whether it's double or single spaced. Either one is just fine. There you'll find articles on both. Some the APA style suggests double spaced, and then with an indent of the first page, first sentence, excuse me, and then everything else left justified. So you want to make sure you kind of tighten that up here. You have that sort of going on. You have double space, but you just want to move these into the center. So I noticed that you have a quick introduction to what I can expect. I can expect to learn that employee productivity policies or employee policies. I'm not sure which title you'd like, productivity or policies. And it sounds like you're really talking about professional development throughout, like how professional development can motivate, integrate, move forward. So I don't know if that's a term you were interested in using, or if it really works for your paper or not. It's just a suggestion. So you have a quick introduction to your what you found. And I can see that you're integrating the ideas of others. And so if I just switch real quickly to the rubric, I am looking for at least 4 scholarly, credible scholarly journals, that you have an introduction to the synthesis, that you have the ideas in themes, that you show within each theme how one article or scholarly base of research supports another base of research, that you use signal phrases and parenthetical citations, and that you have a concluding paragraph, that it's all in APA format, and that in the end you have at least 7 sources. Now 4 of them have to be at least, have to be from scholarly credible sources. So this idea that you need 7, like some people are using a newspaper article or a website that's not necessarily, just a random website that they found versus a website of a scholarly journal. So that's where those 3 additional come from. So I can see that you're doing that. Let's talk about some of the nitty-gritty about this. So here, you want here you introduce in a great way. Literature recognizes interprofessional education has an impact on collaboration amongst healthcare professionals. Some studies show interprofessional initiatives should be realistic to effectively reflective day-to-day roles. Double check some of the grammar in here. More often than not, it's much better to keep it clear, concise, and concrete. Use short, direct, to-the-point sentence structures to begin with, and then integrate a more complex sentence structures. So you want to make sure you say effectively reflect day-to-day roles. But what I want to caution you to do is that let's see here. Your last statement here, your first one and your last one kind of point to this tendency that your paper is leaning towards. So regardless, all of the research leads to a need for interprofessional learning to achieve teams effectively working together. Double check that grammar. But what you're suggesting is that teams have to have PD or professional development, or in an office space, professionals need professional development. So instead of saying it all, that is your main emphasis, produce the facts of what your research shows. So professional development, let's see here, professional exercise or interprofessional exercise. Professional development does A, B, C, and D. And list what, what's this say? Wamsley suggests professional development improves attitudes. Hamrick, Elkers, Champion, and Smith mentioned that, vocational training and gender trainees, blah, blah, blah. Hammock says this. So instead of giving an overall that's what they all point to, list instead, these are the facts of what this research notes. So I hope I'm being clear. I feel like I'm talking in circles here for just a second because what I'm trying to get at is that, this is really a synthesis of secondary research. You are simply explaining what other people have researched. You're not putting any of your own opinion in here. You're not suggesting leaning one way or the other. You're simply showing what others have said. Now, there's argument that because you've selected the themes, that technically is pointing to your argument or landing towards your opinion. But the bottom line is that you're not saying, so this clearly shows that A, B, and C has to take place or something like that. You're just saying, Sally Smith, Joe Rogers, and Tim Johnson, they all say that, this. And, I'm just making up fictitious names. I hope you can understand. So then here, the next one you say, the next topic you have is the impact of leadership style on organizational culture and job satisfaction. So the dynamics mentioned can be accomplished with an assessment of leadership style, organizational culture, and job satisfaction in the U.S. healthcare industry. What I recommend saying is instead say, research points to a relationship between leadership style and job satisfaction among employees. I'm not sure which dynamics you're talking about because you mentioned several. So you just want to be as factual as possible. Remove what's called suggestive speech, and it really just means that you're trying to sway your reader into one belief or another. You're just a reporter right now. You're reporting the facts of what others have found. So I would recommend going back through your paper and organize. You have great information. You have awesome citations. You want to double check a couple of these right here. If you have more than one author, you need to include at least two of the names. I'm not sure where this discussion paragraph 1 comes from. Everything else is looking good. You want to double check and comb through. And I recommend sending your paper to the Effective Writing Center. They will be able to help you with making certain to iron out those in-text citations. So I hope that was a good head start on working towards your final copy, and I look forward to reading it.